You're listening to the Super Domestique Podcast, Canada's premium cycling podcast, brought to you by the Last Drop Cycling Club.
And welcome back, listeners. This is episode 6. I can't believe we've gotten this far. We have someone very special today. Once again, I get to call him a dear friend, but he's also my coach. He kicks my ass twice a week in the off season, and he sees me for everything I need, even during the on season before races. This is Arad. I never know how to say your last name, Arad. Tell me.
Seyedin.
Arad Seyedin. And you own Vibe Lounge.
Yes.
So when I first heard my wife was going to Vibe Lounge, I was thinking, is she going to a club at 12 o'clock on a Friday every week? Where did the name come from? What do you guys exactly do?
You know, sometimes people buy gift cards for their friends, and the friend calls and is like, so what kind of lounge is this? And then when we tell them that you have to come here and train, they're like, okay, I'll call you guys back.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you say to people? What is Vibe Lounge? It's not a gym. In my opinion, it is not a gym. It's an experience, but...
The name came from one of the technologies we use, so EMS.
Okay.
And you wear these suits that kind of vibrate, or they feel like they're vibrating. So we took the name Vibe, and then the idea of lounge. We went through so many different phases when we were opening Vibe Lounge. We were like, why don't we do a lounge in front that you can grab a juice and everything? So we said, okay, Vibe Lounge. So it's not very limiting.
I love it. I always tell people that you guys, although a gym, you're a progressive experience with strength training. This is not, something I've seen ever before. I've done personal training before at a gym, and usually you're doing it, and then there's a bunch of other people also working out who are not in private classes, and you guys do a very curated, high-end experience. Why? Why did you go this route? Because it's risky, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So the whole idea was to have a personal training studio and bring technologies to make the workouts more efficient. Mm-hmm. So instead of going to the gym by yourself 5 times a week, you come to us twice, like you're doing right now. And yeah, we want it to be extremely personalized, and we want it to be very private, because when we used to go to all these different classes, it was very easy for us to feel excluded sometimes. It was very cliquey, and we said, no, we want it to be a place that every single person feels safe. And that was the word. We wanted it to be a safe place for someone that has never trained in their life, someone that was not an athletic person when they were a kid. And because it's hard, right? It's impossible. If you've never trained in your life, you were not good at school, you only had bad memories at the school from training, then you're not going to go train.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Arad. I think the crazy thing, and you nailed it there, is I was not good at athletics in school. Yeah, I rocked it on the bike, and that was great. But even when I tried to access personal training before, every time I'd go, I hurt myself. And then I'd go again the next week, and I hurt myself in another way. And I don't think it was the trainer's fault at all. I think it was just not going off the deep end right away. I did deadlifts, my first session ever at the gym. And yeah, I threw my back out completely. It was so much pain. Is that something that you guys also were very cognizant of when designing everything, that people just cannot get injured here?
100%. First rule, don't hurt them. For any trainer.
Yeah.
Not just at Vibe Lounge, but for any trainer. First rule, don't hurt them. And we all live by that rule. I rather someone come to a session and not leave dead and so tired and feel like they could give a little more than me trying to push them so much and hurt them. 100%.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's not just you, right, Arad? You're doing this with your partner, Sandrine. What was that journey like? So it was obviously an idea you guys had. You're relatively young, creating this incredible business. I'm enamored by the journey you guys took to even open Vibe Lounge. Can you kind of give us a little bit of that?
Yeah, well, working together, it was a learning curve. The biggest part was to divide the relationship and the business so they don't stay connected. Because sometimes you might have an argument within the business, within an
Yeah.
idea, but then we're done with work and that should not stay for the rest of your day because you've just messed up your whole day. So we really worked on dividing that. Once we're done with work, okay, done. How are you?
Yeah.
Now we're just me and Sandrine, not the business partners anymore.
What's the big pro of working on something like this with your partner? Because
Well-
obviously there's challenges there with anything, any relationship, but what's the big pro that you guys have?
There are many.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say, in general, living with someone that shares the same vision than you just makes it so much easier because now you're fully living and
Yeah.
breathing that vision. I come up with an idea at 1 a.m. at night. I just wake her up. Hey, we're doing this. And she's like, oh, yeah, let's do it. And imagine if I had someone that was working in finance and
Yeah.
I have my business and I wake her up at 1 a.m. So it's a lot of things like that. And we're very different. So
Yes.
Sandrine is very good at bringing ideas into reality.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at coming up with ideas. So a lot of times I just come up with an idea and Sandrine just is like, okay, hey, by the way, that idea is happening right now.
Amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, you guys are so connected. Like, and it's the subtle things. So I'll train with you at 7 a.m. Usually, Sandrine is showing up around let's say 7:45 to get ready for a next session. But you guys don't even have to talk to each other. Like I see the eye line, and she's like getting ready. You don't even have to communicate, and you guys are already working together. So kudos on you guys for having an awesome relationship, and
Thank you.
people see it. Even if you guys are silent and no one notices that you're in a relationship, but it's amazing to see two people work together on something.
You know what's cool?
Yeah.
Now it's the same with our team. So it's
Really?
not just me
Yeah.
and Sandrine. I can just look at my team and they already know.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of looking at each other.
So what were the first few clients like? I'm always intrigued when you start a business. It's obviously going to be slow, but were there one or two clients there that you probably still have today that you remember coming into Vibe? And
Oh, 100%. I have. Well, we both had clients before we opened Vibe Lounge.
okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
when we opened it, quite a few of them came. And we were not sure that people are going to come because this was such a new idea.
Yeah.
And the gym did not look like how it looks right now.
Interesting.
So we only had the EMS suits. We didn't have all the equipment we had right now because the whole idea started when I was 21, Sandrine was 20. So to just come up with the financing and everything, it was not as easy. So we started with just the EMS suit. That's what
Yeah.
we could afford. And as we got clients, we started adding everything. Everyone that signed up in the beginning, we knew.
Interesting.
So it's not that someone like on right before we opened just went online and bought it. No, it was all our clients.
yeah.
And then one by one, we started getting people coming in, hey, what is this? And we started explaining it to them. And it just grew from there.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, let's get into cycling because that's what we're here to do. What was your journey into cycling? You had a bike even before we even talked about cycling or I came to train with you. How did you get into it? Why did you buy a bicycle?
It was during COVID.
Okay, perfect.
And
By the way, we're called COVID babies. This is the label we're getting on YouTube. If you bought a bike during COVID, you're known as a COVID baby. And you're
Perfect.
entering cycling there. So congratulations if you're a COVID baby. You're not going to get hate from the last drop. But
so yeah, I was a COVID baby. And Sandrine was training for a triathlon
okay.
during that time. So she was biking a lot. I got a bike. I didn't use it as much. And a client of mine told me, hey, there's this race that you can do. It's called the Triple Crown. It's not a race. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
It's a challenge.
It's
It's,
a
like we all
challenge.
do it on the North Shore, right?
well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you go up Seymour
Yes.
and then you go up Grouse, and then you go up Cypress.
Yeah. So it's all three mountains here in North Vancouver. It's, what would you say? It's like 2,500 meters of climbing, if I'm not mistaken, total.
I think
Maybe
so.
a little bit under that, but usually takes people, what'd you say, 4 hours?
Man, took us more than that.
Yeah. Maybe your
From
first time.
Yeah, so the maximum biking I've done by that point was just going to Stanley Park and just going around and coming back.
Yeah.
I might have had like 100 kilometers on my bike by the time we did that challenge. And then I had to sell the bike after. The bike was done. This was a cheap bike that I had. And
Yeah.
then while I was riding up, this guy comes to me and he's like, dude, you need to fix your bike. I'm like, hey, this is the first time I'm using it. He's like, I have a cycling club. Why don't you come join us?
Amazing.
So I went a few rides with those guys, and then I met you. And then
And
you
that's
introduced me
history.
to Last Drop, and that's it.
That's it. That's amazing. What bike do you ride?
Trek Emonda SL6 Pro.
Well done.
Thank
That's
you.
a pretty nice second bike to have. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So Arad's been training a bunch of us here at the Last Drop Cycling Club. It's been crazy. I've had experience with you in the past, but a lot of us haven't. I'm intrigued to understand your feedback. We've done 8 weeks with you. What was the number one thing when we all showed up on week 1 that you were like, oh my God, I need to fix this ASAP and it's going to take their riding to a new level? Or did we have multitudes of problems?
To summarize it, it was movement.
Okay. Like we're all tight or?
Yes, and in general, when I put you in a certain position, the way you were supposed to move was a little different. Activation.
Okay.
So feeling the muscles that you were supposed to feel, and breathing.
Breathing. Interesting. Talk more about breathing.
Just breathing in general when you're under pressure or when you're lifting a certain way. I'm not sure. It's maybe some of you guys have been training by yourself and you didn't know how you're supposed to breathe when you're lifting heavy. But mostly that. Yeah, 100%. Or in general, like getting you guys to breathe before even starting. So when we got you guys during those GOATA stuff, Caden usually would tell you guys, hey, make sure you're breathing and teach you how to breathe as you're moving to loosen your body up. Sometimes with you even. We did this last year. I put you through a test and I asked you to lift your leg up just to see how much you can lift it up.
Yeah.
And then I got you to do crocodile breathing. And I'm like, do it now. And the leg is like, ooh, all the way up now.
So tell me about GOATA, because you've explained it in class. It's such a new concept for us. Is this new in the strength training world, or you guys have been doing this for a while?
No, we've been doing it for a few months now, actually.
Yeah.
So we really got into running. And then one of our trainers, Caden, who is huge into running, he researched all these athletes, how they're training, how they're moving, and he came across GOATA, which stands for Greatest of All Time Actions. And what they've done is they've studied the multi-decade athletes that never got injured, world-class athletes, and indigenous tribes. And they found out that they both move a certain way that is very similar to each other. And they teach you movements that would automatically fix your form. The way you walk, the way you sit, the way you run. And we started incorporating that into everyone's moves because our nervous system is very dumb. It does not autocorrect you. So if you're sitting, like me and you are sitting right now, your nervous system is like, oh, okay, so we're going to sit right now. So I'm just going to adapt to being like that.
Yeah.
So how do we reverse that? And that's exactly what GOATA does.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. They're hard movements. Like, they're not like physically challenging, I'll say, but you have to be so conscious of what you're doing. And you're right, the body is really, really lazy. I heard this maybe on another podcast or in my travels of reading about training, but everything with training is forcing your body not to be lazy because the body will take the easy way out every single time. Like, I see it in cycling all the time. You're in a race, you're training, you're in your last set of an interval, and your body is telling you, please stop. Like, please stop. And it's very hard, I think, psychologically. You're trying to rewire that constantly, and it doesn't matter how much you ride or how much you train. The body's always going to try and say, actually, let's do one less, because that's that self-preservation. I mean, do you still find that you train so much, Arad? When you're doing things, your body's probably saying, yeah, Arad, take it easy.
Always.
Yeah.
Everyone is like that, Jam. I think so.
So it's correct when we say, you get stronger, you get faster, but it definitely doesn't get easier.
Definitely not. No, because the stronger and the faster you get, then the more you can push yourself, right?
Yeah. How are you pushing yourself right now at the gym, Arad? I know you're trying to do a challenge right now, a running challenge. You're trying to get to 40 kilometers an hour on the treadmill.
Yes, that. And I am going to run a sub 40-minute 10K sub 40-minute 10K while weighting 190 or more. So I don't want to drop too much weight, staying heavy, and then run a 10K.
So this perplexes me, Arad, because I'm not someone to call anyone crazy, but I think this is an amazing challenge. You're literally trying to keep your same, let's say, mass, and you're trying to do these crazy challenges. Like the running one, we're going to try and get you on the bike to do the Mount Seymour climb. It's about 1,000 meters. Try and do it under an hour. Where does this come from? Because you could drop weight and then do all these things pretty easily. I'm not going to lie to you.
I just want to look good.
That's fair.
I want to have the show and the go.
The show and the go. Where does that come from?
It's this trainer that always said, his name is Luca. He always said, he's like, everyone wants to have the show and the go. If someone comes and is training for performance, they still want to look good. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's so true. Everyone does. Everyone wants to look good.
Yeah, I only got that after training with you. I was like, oh, damn, I look good. And I'm okay with saying that. I don't know. I think a lot of us cyclists are a little bit insecure about the way we look. We know we can smash it on the bike and we're athletes, but it's not like our bodies look like that. I go see my aunt or my mom. They're like, you haven't been eating. I'm like, I'm the heaviest I've ever been in my life. I don't know if you get that with your family. They're like, Arad, you're not eating enough.
All the time, man.
Yeah.
All the time.
But that's in our cultures.
Always. Yeah. Yeah. When I go to my mom's house for dinner.
Yeah.
Her goal is to feed me so much that she can put me into sleep right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough rice to put you to sleep.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
The training journey has been so interesting, and I don't think I could have personally had the gains I've had without integrating strength training. And to be very honest with you, Arad, it's so new in cycling. I think I shared with you the old world of cycling in the 90s, early 2000s. The best in the world were, other than Lance Armstrong, I'd say, and that squad of cycling, the best in the world were 59 kilograms, 58 kilograms. And now we're learning that was not good for those individuals and not good for people in general. And now the cyclist has changed so much and strength has changed them. Are you seeing that kind of across sports?
Yeah, in general, I would say cyclists are very afraid of bulking.
Yeah, we hate it. It's
100%.
Look, Arad, I spend, $200 on a bottle cage that is 4 grams, lighter than the other one that's $60. So for me to even put on a kilogram at the gym, I'm just thinking to myself, like, I got to push out like 40 more watts to take this up a hill. That's what scares us. I'll be very honest with you. That's why we don't want to come to the gym.
I think it's very important, but in my opinion, within the next few years, you're going to see a different physique for cyclists. It's just like 1970s NBA players or NFL. You look at them now, look at LeBron James now. The guy's jacked. He's huge. Same with cycling. That's what I think.
But I think it's also because these players, like in ball sports, Tom Brady, LeBron, they're all talking about, I want to do this when I'm 38 years old. I want to do this when I'm 42. And I think cycling is now, you had the old guys in the sport and you still have them, but I don't think they get injured to the same extent. I don't think they are breaking their bodies every season to the same extent. So I think
agree.
sports changing in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure it is.
I want to get into these questions. You know, like our producer, Eliza and Nate, make these questions every time. And, you know, we generally don't use them. So I'm going to try and do that a little bit more. Yeah, okay. This is something I was talking to my wife about and our producer, Eliza, about yesterday. Talk to me about running. So, like with everything else, cyclists are scared of running generally. We have a few runners in the club and they're incredibly strong cyclists, but do you actually recommend running as a cross training element in cycling? Because we're scared of our knees. We're like, we don't want to go out there, injure ourselves, and then get on the bike and we can't do what we do.
I mean, if you like running, go ahead and run. But if you have to decide between strength training or running, don't worry about running at all.
Yeah.
But your body should be able to take running as a cyclist. It's just some people don't like running, right?
Yeah.
Your sport is cycling. If you hate running, then why do you want to force yourself? Do you like running, Jam?
No, I hate running.
Then
I run with my dog for 200 meters. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm apparently an athlete and I can't run with my dog on the street. It hurts.
it's different. It's like you put me on a bike compared to you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be as good as you. I'm not going to feel as good as you.
Yeah. But what are the steps in running that make it pleasurable, would you say? You guys have started a running club. You're probably going through this. Like, how should they be running? And what do you kind of see when new runners come to the table?
Like, are we talking about form or
Yeah,
are we
form,
talking
like-
about what makes you like running or...
I think form and what makes you really like it. Because right now, if I even try to run, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like hitting the ground so hard. And within about, 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm done with this.
So form probably plays a huge role in how you feel when you run, and it makes you
Yeah.
like it more. Because imagine running in pain. No
Yeah.
one wants to go back and do it again. But I think it comes natural to a lot of people. I personally, I run
Yeah.
with perfect form. I run pain-free. I don't enjoy it. I don't love running. I just like challenging myself.
Yeah.
That's why the next challenge I will do will be cycling. But some people, they enjoy it. Like one of my clients was telling me, when I run and I feel the wind on my face, it's the best feeling in the world. Like, sorry, that's not what I'm thinking about when I'm running. I'm thinking about getting it done. So a lot of people
Yeah.
are like that. I think it just comes with it maybe. And the better you're at something,
Yeah.
the more you like it. So if you're a really good runner, then of course you're gonna like it.
So where does this come from you? Obviously, you're such a driven guy. I'm not gonna say that you're in that world of the David Goggins. Like we love him, but he can be a little bit stressful, I'll say. But where does your drive come from to stay disciplined? Right? You don't drink. You're pretty strict with your diet, as far as I know. Yeah. How do you do that mentally every single day? Is it for your clients or is it for you, Arad?
First of all, I think this is the norm. I think I'm normal. I'm just living life like a regular person, and I think
Good.
that's how everyone should be living.
Yeah.
Not drinking is, in my opinion, the normal.
Yeah.
Drinking is not the normal. Having discipline is the normal. Not being so. When you think about it, it should not. It can be that hard.
Yeah.
Somehow, however, of course, I do it for myself. I do it for my family, and I've come a long way to come here and live in Canada. So originally I was from Iran, and it was my family's dream to come here. So I'm just here to make the best out of it,
You're maximizing it.
maximizing it.
Just like we maximize every set, right, Arad?
That's it.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing you say that, right? I'm still struggling and trying to change the narrative in my head that not drinking, waking up in the morning, drinking 2 glasses of water, being careful with what I eat, trying to get more protein. I'm trying, Arad. I promise I'm trying. It can be seen as the normal. I think we struggle with that psychology because society has put so much on human beings and saying, yeah, drinking is normal. And I didn't realize, and if you drink out there, that's not a problem. Like you manage it. You got to enjoy the things you want to enjoy in your
100%.
life. No worries about that. But I think if you're optimizing everything, I heard this, like if I'm buying $1,000 ceramic pulley wheel on my bike that gives me 1 watt of extra power when I'm out there, then can you take not having drinks as the easiest thing you could possibly do for your body to just maximize yourself? Yes, you can. But we just don't go there mentally.
Jam, in general, humans are naturally drawn to growth, right? Whatever that means.
Do you think that, Arad? Or 100%. You're saying like originally that's what we're meant to do?
Everyone is drawn to growth in whatever they're doing. It even says it in some of the courses we take in fitness.
Yeah.
It's like your clients are already drawn to growth. That's why they're here.
Yeah.
You just show them the way to there, right? So whatever your goal is, whatever growth is for you, then you do whatever you can to get there. For me right now, it's being disciplined in my training, in learning all the time, in not drinking, of course. And with things like diet and training, if I can get my clients to really connect to their body and them to feel exactly how they're supposed to feel when they eat a certain way or when they drink so much, they already know. They're feeling it. They know they shouldn't be doing it.
So, it's just so interesting, Arad, the way you frame it and personalize it in that sense. So.
And that growth is different for you, right? You're willing to spend, how much did you say on ceramic coating for your bike?
It doesn't matter, like $1,000 part that literally virtually does nothing.
So that wouldn't make sense for me.
No.
For me, the not drinking and everything is that you spend. Because like you came in with when you bought your new bike, you came with the bike to our training session.
Yeah.
You brought the bike in and you're like, hey, look at this bike. You started like telling me exactly what it does. And then yesterday, you come in with this new nice car and you park the car right in front. It's this electric Volvo, super nice car. You come in like nothing has happened. Hey, all right, let's go. I'm like, hey, is that a new car? Oh, yeah. I just got a new car. Yeah. All right, let's go. It's like when people buy a car, it's such a big deal. And then for you, it's nothing. And then you buy a bike that costs probably almost the same as your car. And it's
I'd like to think so. But you've changed my priorities in life. Like everything I'm thinking about, even in my personal life, whether it's work, what time I wake up, or what I'm trying to eat, or if I'm not eating in the day, it's, I'm jeopardizing my time with Arad, or I'm jeopardizing my time to get the training and I need to do my best work. And I think there's accountability there when you have a trainer like yourself that's spending that personal time with you. And I think the one thing, Arad, I'll say that I find I used to find it intimidating when you used to say it at training sessions, but now I buy into it completely, which is you're so positive about what your clients can do. Like you were saying, you're going to get a top 10. No worries at a race. You're going to do it. I fucking don't believe you. But I'm trying to buy in more and more because you have to have that mindset. Is that why you do that with your clients?
100%. I'm all in with my clients. In fact, now that I think about it, I always tell Sandrine, my partner, when we're sleeping super late or before when we used to drink, I would be like, if this is making me show up 1% less tomorrow for my clients, I can't forgive myself. Yeah. My clients deserve 100% every single time. So a lot of the things I do actually is to show up at 100%. And I believe in myself, so I 100% believe in my clients.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Talk to me what you're not disciplined in doing. Is it cleaning the house? Is it like taking the dog out, spending time with your family? Like, what is the thing you struggle with, Arad? I mean, you can say no and you're a superhuman hybrid athlete. I get it. But like, there must be stuff that you are always working 100%. On in your personal life.
Answering emails. Texts. If you send me a voice message, don't expect a reply. Folding the laundry. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. 100%. It's kind of my escape. When I go for a run and do all those crazy things, it's to skip everything else on the side.
That's, well, everyone has their thing, right? Right, Arad? But, okay, so you're going to come out for rides this year with the Last Drop and the Cycling Club. Is there anything that you want to kind of get better at that we can even help you with?
Everything when it comes to cycling. 100%. I want to keep up with you guys and make you guys work. So whatever it takes. Because I've only been on one ride with you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys made me work. Like it was hard.
Yeah.
I thought that would be more than fine, but it was definitely not as easy. So I want to be able to lead the pack because I was in the back hiding behind you guys. What's that technique you guys call? You know, when you're right
You're in pace line.
That's it.
Pace line, yeah. No, I mean you did great that day, but we've got to get you out for a fast one. That was a little bit of a like easygoing. We were chatting a bit, but I want to see you sprint because I know you have the body for it. I want to see you go toe to toe with sprinters.
So what's a sprint? 400 meters or?
It can be anything, but I think yeah, I'd say 500 meters from the line at a rolling. So you're rolling at about 30 kilometers an hour, and then you snap. You can call it a snap, and you start the sprint, right? So I would love to dial your technique in and then see how hard, because you can smash the pedals above 1,000 watts easily. So would love to see that in person on a bike live. But we'll get you there.
There's a race, right? There's a race coming up.
Yeah, we're doing Tuna no Crust. So, yeah, a little playoff of Fast and the Furious, but we're doing a sprint race.
And one of our trainers, Caden,
Yep.
is running against the winner.
Can you please talk about who Caden is? Because we're so privileged to even train with him.
You should get him to come on this podcast. I think.
We absolutely should.
Ask him about GOATA. This whole 1 hour podcast is going to be all about GOATA.
GOATA.
He'll just keep on going.
He'll keep going.
Yeah. Caden is one of our amazing trainers, and he just has an incredible athletic background.
Yeah.
So any sport you ask him, he plays it. He played for
So he was
BC
CFL.
Lions, CFL, yeah,
CFL.
yeah, and then he's currently training to make it to the Olympic team for sprinting.
For sprinting. I thought it was bobsled that
He already is on the team for that.
That's crazy. So now he wants to be a sprinter.
Yes.
What's his training like? Is he leaning down to be a sprinter, or he's just trying to keep that mass? And
No, he's not even worrying about mass or anything. Just pure performance. I mean, we actually went on the same program.
Yeah.
When I wanted to hit 40 kilometers per hour on the treadmill,
yeah,
and I dropped somehow 13 pounds, and he dropped like 10 pounds. I think
Crazy.
it was an intense program, and we were not eating as much.
yeah,
But the program is like 2 days of sprinting, a lot of GOATA, a lot of wall sits,
yeah.
heavy lifting.
Crazy. Yeah, we'll get Caden on here. So we're leaving the safety of Vibe Lounge. We're starting our season. We're all starting to race very, very shortly. Some of us have already raced. What's your advice to us during the season if, let's say, we cannot see you now, to just keep it up? Because now I truly do feel that fear that in a month's time and I come see you, I'm going to be weaker. I will be from a strength training perspective. But are there things that we can do as cyclists at home that it's the GOATA, obviously, but from a strength perspective, is there anything that we can continue to do, or just ride the bike, enjoy the season, come back next year?
I don't think you're going to be weaker when you come back. Not necessarily. If you're taking good care of yourself,
Yeah.
you're going to be more than fine. But definitely, yeah, taking your mobility routines very seriously. Think of it as hygiene, right? You want to make sure you're taking care of yourself. It's like if you don't eat, I always tell that to you. You're like, do I have to do my mobility routine? I'm like, so let me tell you like this. If you don't eat, you don't need to brush your teeth. So if you're not doing all the cycling and stuff you're doing, you're not sitting all day, then you don't need any of these things. But the amount of stress you're putting in your body, you need to reverse that somehow.
Yeah.
What I would say is taking your mobility routines very seriously, go to 100%. And if you can get in and get some strength training sessions in,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Just as a little like top up every month. Just come in, do the strength.
Yeah. What I recommend is to keep coming once a week and training. The closer you are to your races, we will lift heavier weights, but at lower reps.
volume.
Lower reps. But at the beginning of the season, it's the exact opposite. And a lot of cyclists are going to go crazy to hear this right now.
Yes.
But that's what has been working for me and my clients. And a few other trainers that train cyclists. So the closer you are to your races, weight up, perfect form. take your time to warm up. Like you might warm up for half an hour, do 2 lifts at 3-4 reps each, cool down, done.
Okay, we'll experiment right before the first one this year. We'll experiment on that. Yeah, no, it is scary. You're saying it, and I'm like, oh my God, no, you can't do that. You need to be sleeping and eating rice for a week before a race. That's all you have to do.
No, just think about it. It's just that position you're at for
Yeah.
such a long time. It's very repetitive. You need to think about reversing that all the time. Again, you know how my goal is to not hurt the clients? Your
Yes.
goal for yourself, your number one goal should be like that, because then you're out.
Yeah.
All the money, all the time you've spent, gone.
Yeah. No, I'm so cognizant of injury, right? My knee is bugging me right now. We had a session yesterday trying to target it. It's feeling better, but yeah, I'm so cognizant of injury right now because you've worked so hard. You've gotten to this point and it's almost going to all start and you just cannot get injured. So it's good to hear. It's good to hear. Okay, so fun stuff. What is the faux pas at the gym? We talk about this in every podcast, you know. There's cycling faux pas, but what do you see at the gym that you're like, no, you can't do that? Like, is it sock fashion? Is it people who come in with the wrong shoes? Like, what's the faux pas that you kind of laugh in your head? And you don't have to share them at Vibe Lunch, but if you go to any gym, what are those things that you're like, why are these people doing this?
Nothing. I just have so much respect for anyone that even tries to train.
You're
and
too
make
nice,
themselves
Arad.
better.
You know that, right? Yeah.
I just can't relate it to the gym. Let me think. People who go to like spin classes and they expect to see incredible like gains, like
Yeah.
fitness gains and muscle mass improvement from that. Because we do a lot of consultation and they're like, yeah, I've been doing spin for a long time, but I seem to not be able to getting rid of the fat on this part, or
Yeah.
my back doesn't feel any better. So that's it. So mistaking group classes with big group classes with one-on-one personal training, very different.
Yeah, and we're not like, you're not talking when it's spin, it's not those curated sessions.
Oh no, I go to spin class myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love spin, but you need to know the reason you're there for.
That's the thing, right? There's intention behind it. You got to make sure that you're doing it for those right reasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just more education. I think that's what we need out there. That's what we need.
Yeah, I think that's the thing in fitness, right? Is like people just want to pay their $35, show up for an hour, and they're going to be fit all their lives. And that's, I hate to say it, it's just not the case.
Well, that's a great step.
It is.
Right?
You're totally right.
That's in the why in the beginning I was saying anyone that just shows up and does anything, go
Yeah.
for a walk, respect. No matter what shoes you're wearing, no matter what outfit you're wearing,
Yeah.
I don't care. You're showing up.
That's amazing. That's the same at the last drop. I mean, I'll be very, very honest. You know, like our founders, Nate and Zach, that was the number one thing, is to make it inclusive. Like people can show up at a meet and greet if they have flat pedals, no clip-in shoes. Like it's fine. Show up. We'll give you the tools. We'll have the conversations. We'll figure out what rides are good for you. And it's that feeling, right? I never knew I would feel so good seeing someone show up and say, like, I haven't ridden a bike in a while. Like, go easy on me. I had no idea those emotions would be there. I thought I would be frustrated. But no, it's pretty inspirational to even just see someone just try.
I agree.
And
It's
then
amazing.
they try and they're doing a triathlon the next year. And you're like, shit, we did something for someone. I mean, they did everything, but it's cool to be the vehicle for that. For
Humans'
someone.
tendency towards growth.
Yeah.
That's it.
What's that
Triathlon,
like as a
yeah.
trainer? Because I don't get to see that very often. But as a trainer and a coach, Arad, what's it like when you see your clients go do a race or go do a challenge or even meet their weight goal? And we talk about weight not being something you should measure yourself against. But how do you feel when you see that?
Better than anything, really. Like,
Did you expect that when you started training people? That feeling of like, wow.
100%. Yeah, because I put in the work to be the trainer I am today, and I'm putting the work every single day, and so is all our other trainers.
Yeah.
So I'm never like, oh, look how far we've come. No, we put in on all the work to
Yeah.
come here, but the feeling is incredible because it feels like I'm there doing the race with them, and I actually did what they did in that race. So when you completed your gravel race, it just felt like I crossed that last line with you because we put in so much work together. To get you there.
You're in my mind, Arad. When we do these events, I have your voice in my head being like, "Oh, okay, let's go, keep going. You're gonna kill it. You're gonna kill it. You're gonna be fine." So it's funny how it sounds silly in the moment as a third person when you're encouraging someone during a set, but you don't realize that you're embedding that affirmation in people's mind. I was reading about that a bit. Yeah, whether you're conscious of that or not, right? That affirmation is building in people's minds whenever they do anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we choose very achievable goals for our clients.
Yeah.
So they feel like they're winning. We start them somewhere that they can keep going. Some of my clients' goals is not to run 10K under 40 minutes. It's just to show up to the session.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting down to it. This has been a wonderful conversation, Arad. It's nice to like talk to you when I'm not sweaty and like wanting to run away from the gym. But can you kind of also talk about your, how do I put this in a interesting way? Your goals for me. What would you like to see me do? Forget about cycling. Like now you've known me well enough at this point, but is there anything that you want to see me do?
First thing is see you eat better.
Yeah.
Get your protein goals in, because I think you're way below what you
Yeah,
can take.
yeah. Absolutely, I am.
Not super related to cycling, but improving your coordination.
Yeah, absolutely.
And awareness.
Yeah.
So we train a lot of athletes, okay? And the number one thing that separates them from a regular person that is just training is their awareness of themselves. That's the biggest thing that separates them from everyone else. And I want to build that with you.
How can you tell? What does awareness look like?
You can tell it from breathing. You can tell it from the confidence. You can, even if you look at their games. So sometimes I go and watch my clients' hockey games, and the way they're dialed, the conversations, the questions they ask from me, all of that says it. But 100%, they're just very aware.
Yeah.
From the aches in their body.
Yeah, the awareness has built up, but yeah, I look forward to doing that with you, Arad.
Amazing. And then breathing. You look at any elite. Look at Ronaldo taking a penalty. Just look at him. What is he doing? He's breathing. He's bringing himself back in the moment. Put yourself, okay, Jam, just think right now, okay? You are the captain of Canada's soccer team. And you have to score the winning penalty for your country. Okay? You score, you win. Okay? Now close your eyes. Just imagine. You score, you win. And the stadium is full. You don't score, you lose. What are you going to do at that point?
You have to score.
You have to score. And how do you calm yourself down? How do you bring yourself to that moment that all you focus on is scoring? Is through breathing. Super important. So that's something else that I want to work on with you. Just having you there.
Yeah. Let's do it. I want to be there, Arad. I want to be there. And I can't believe I'm saying that about being at a gym. I want to be there. This has been amazing. Arad, thanks for being on the podcast. Truly. And as we always do, fist bumps. Thank you so much, Arad. We'll see you soon. We'll see you in the gym. We'll be sweating, and we'll be doing some amazing challenges. Let's check in again next year.
Absolutely.
Let's do it again.
Thanks for checking out the Super Domestique Podcast. Follow us on Instagram or find us at thelastdrop.cc to learn more.